In the past few years, it seems that we keep seeing these cases where a husband or wife will want out of their relationship by any means necessary, except divorce. For whatever reason, people seem to think that murder is easier to get away with than going through a divorce, and because of that, we keep seeing these innocent people losing their lives for absolutely no reason. It's such a wild phenomenon, and when you hear the details of this case, you will be just as blown away as I am by how stupid some people can really be. But before we get into the case, I want to put you guys onto an absolute game changer of a product that I like to use before a night out with drinks. It's called Pre-Alcohol by ZBiotics. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, the alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's the byproduct, not necessarily the dehydration, that is to blame for the rough morning that follows. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. So just remember to make ZBiotics your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best the next day. I actually tried their pre-alcohol drink years ago before I even had a YouTube channel, and truly it's a game changer. I'm someone who likes to get with friends and hit the town on either Friday or Saturday nights after a long work week, but obviously the next day can be rough, and that is never fun. So I started using the pre-alcohol drink, and now I can go about my Sundays as I normally would. I get all my chores done, I get my workout done, and relax without a headache. So if you want to try it out for yourself, head to the link in the description box below to get 15% off your first order at checkout. Plus, ZBiotics offers a 100% money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for whatever reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Thank you again so much to ZBiotics for partnering with me on today's video. With that being said, let's get into the case. Matt Rastelli was born in Houston, Texas on May 4th, 1982. Matt was known as having a deep love for the outdoors. He was an avid mountain biker and fisherman. He could spend hours on end exploring various nature trails, whether he was alone or with his kids. Loved ones said that Matt's profound love for adventure and nature were evident to everyone who knew him. At the time of his death, he was married to Kate Rastelli. It's been reported that the couple had 2 children, though his obituary lists 3 of them, and one of them appears a bit older, so I believe his oldest son is from a previous relationship. Either way, those who knew Matt said that his family was the most important part of his life. His commitment to his family was unparalleled, not just giving them boundless love, but also bringing them on so many adventures that brought them closer together. At the time, Kate, Matt, and their children were living together in California. However, after around 7 years of marriage, the marital issues they had been facing were really coming to a head. First, the two were said to be experiencing financial issues, which can definitely put strain on a marriage. Then, according to a family member of Kate's, her and Matt both seemed to have a kind of short fuse. They had a way of getting under each other's skin and getting into arguments that just were not necessary. They seemed to have a lot of tension in their relationship at this time, though it's not believed that there was any sort of domestic abuse in the relationship, at least not at that point. Either way, due to the issues between the pair, by June of 2024, Kate decided to take her kids and drive all the way to American Fork, Utah to stay with her mother, Tracy Gist, while Matt stayed back in California. This arrangement lasted several weeks, but throughout that time, Matt was asking his wife to come back to California with the kids. He even offered to send her money so that she could get a rental car to drive back. But this isn't what she wanted. She wanted to be done with her relationship with Matt. She wanted to just keep the kids with her, forget about him, and just move on with her life. According to text messages later recovered by police, when Matt first suggested she get a rental car and drive back, Kate's mother said that she should fake a sprained ankle. She said that she knew how to wrap it up and make it look swollen under the wrap. She texted her, "Can't drive with that sprained ankle." So Kate did just that. She told Matt that she can't come to California because she wasn't able to drive with her bad ankle. To this, Matt said that he could drive to pick her up. At this point, Kate finally gave in and told Matt that he could come get her. But as that was happening, Kate was trying to figure out a way to get herself out of the situation with Matt. She was desperate to get out of the marriage and was going to figure it out one way or another. So, by July 11th, Kate scheduled an appointment with the divorce attorney to discuss her rights. After that meeting, though, Kate was just left frustrated. She expressed to a friend that she was pissed and felt hopeless. She didn't know what to do. By the following day, July 12th, Matt texted his wife that he was about to head over to her mother's house to pick her and the kids up. She texted him her address and then sent her a photo of the house so he knew exactly where to go. He told her that his truck was leaking some oil and was worried about it getting on their driveway, so Kate laid down a piece of cardboard for him to park on. He also said that once he got there, he was worried that his truck wouldn't turn back on if he turned it off, so he planned on leaving it running for the about 15 minutes he expected it to take for them to load up the kids and all of their stuff into the truck. She asked him if he would be coming inside once he got there, and at first he ignored the question, so she asked him again, and he said yes. He would come inside for just a minute. She let him know that the door was always unlocked, suggesting that he could just let himself in whenever he got there. So, based on the conversations between Kate and Matt, it seemed that Matt would be driving several hours over to Utah to pick her and the kids up. He would come inside for a minute to help her grab their things, but wanted to drive back to California that same night, so they wouldn't be staying at the house for long. According to security video from a neighbor's house, Matt pulled into the home's driveway by 10:06 p.m. He got out of the truck and went to the front door, heading inside. But almost immediately upon entering the home, neighbors heard multiple gunshots going off from inside the home. Immediately, those neighbors called the family, but no one answered. So by 10:09 p.m., literally 3 minutes after Matt arrived, the neighbors called 911 to report those gunshots. By 10:15 p.m., Kate's mother also called 911 to report a shooting. Police arrived shortly after, and when they did, they found Matthew Ristelli unresponsive, lying face down on the floor just past the entrance of the home. He had been shot multiple times, 1 time in the chest and 2 times in the back. At the scene, they found that Kate and her 2 children were still upstairs in the home. Meanwhile, her brother, 33-year-old Kevin Ellis, was standing near the front of the home, immediately admitting that he was the one who shot Matt. Paramedics arrived shortly after police, but by that point, it was too late. 42-year-old Matthew Ristelli died as a result of these gunshot wounds. Now, of course, police immediately started questioning everyone inside that home, including Kevin, who admittedly was the one responsible for Matt's death. They also spoke with Kate's mother, 59-year-old Tracy Gist, who pretty much gave the same story as Kevin. They said that Matt was coming to Utah all the way from California to pick up his wife because he thought she wanted to go back home. But Tracy said that they were going through a separation and Matt was not handling it well at all. When he got to the house, he entered the home without their permission, taking Kevin by surprise. Kevin said that when he first saw Matt in the home, he was holding a knife and appeared agitated. Of course, this made Kevin fear for his life. So he apparently went into the garage, opened the safe where he kept his gun, and then returned to the front room to shoot Matt. At the time, investigators started examining the scene and Matt's body to get a clearer picture of what happened and see if it matched up. But very quickly, the story that Kevin gave just was not adding up. They saw that Matt was in fact holding a tactical knife in his right hand when his body was found. However, what immediately stood out to police was that the blade of the knife was actually facing his hand. If you're going to use a knife for pretty much any reason, whether it be chopping vegetables or brandishing the knife to attack someone, you're going to be holding it in a way that faces away from your own hand. And if you're holding it like this, it's going to be facing your wrist, not necessarily your hand. So the way that it was facing just did not make sense for any way anybody would hold a knife. They also noted that the handle of the knife also had finger indentations, which a lot of knives will have to make them more comfortable to hold. Well, those indentations were also facing towards his palm, which again is opposite of how you would naturally be holding a knife. Then they found that Matt was actually left-handed, not right-handed. So he wasn't even holding the knife in his dominant hand, which also didn't make sense. Now, there were a total of 8 shell casings found at the scene, meaning 8 shots had been fired off. Of those 8 shots, one of the bullets went through his right wrist. He had both an entry and an exit wound on that wrist, meaning that the bullet went clear through his muscle, tendon, and nerves. This would have caused such extensive damage to his wrist that he would be completely unable to grip with that hand, meaning that he would not have physically been able to hold the knife at that point. He would have dropped it after he was shot. Yet somehow it was still in his hand after he was shot. Finally, even the position in which Matt was found didn't add up to what Kevin claimed. As I just stated, he said that he saw Matt enter the home holding the knife. This prompted him to go all the way to the garage, get the gun out of the safe, and then return back to the front room to shoot Matt. Even if you're sitting right next to the garage, that would take at least 30 seconds to a minute. But when Matt was found, he was lying right next to the front door as if he had just entered. If there was really that much time from when Matt initially entered the home to when Kevin returned back with the gun, chances are Matt would have made it a lot farther into the home. So he either stood by the doorway with the knife waiting for someone to come up to him, or he was shot almost immediately when he opened the door and came inside. Based on this information alone, police believed that Matt was shot, and then the knife was placed into his hand after he was already dead. The scene had clearly been staged. At this point, police knew that further investigation was needed to figure out what was really going on. At the scene, both Kevin and Tracy were taken into the station for further questioning. At that time, police also seized their cell phones as well as Kate's cell phone for further examination. In their phones, police found evidence that showed that Matt and his wife, Kate, were in a really rough spot in their marriage. As I said, after growing tired of the marriage, Kate went out to Utah to get away from her husband, and while there, tried to get a divorce attorney involved to see what her options were. But as I said earlier, according to texts that she sent her mom and a friend, it seems like she felt out of options. She felt hopeless. So when Matt insisted on coming to pick her up, she agreed. And from there, she and her family formulated a plot to get Matt to come inside to the home so they could kill him and claim self-defense. So going back all the way to May, investigators found texts on Kate's phone to a friend which said, quote, "I'm trying to wait. I just might murder Matt today though." Obviously, this shows that Kate was not happy in her marriage. Now, to me, it doesn't necessarily prove that she truly killed him, in my opinion, just because I'm sure statements like this are made all the time when people are having relationship issues, and most of the time, the spouse doesn't end up dead. But beyond that text, in June and July, it showed that Kate's mother had been searching online for various topics involving Kate's parental rights, gun laws, and getting a passport. These searches included Utah gun registration, Utah shop break-in, how does private sale of firearms work in Utah, how to establish Utah residency, how to file for divorce if wife is a Utah resident and husband is a California resident, how to get my U.S. passport fast, apply for child's U.S. passport, what if mom takes kids for over state line visit and dad doesn't agree, what are the legal implications of taking your kids on vacation without the other parent's permission. So it seems like initially the plan was for Kate to just take the kids and run, go somewhere out of the country with them, but as they probably realized, you can't get a passport that fast. It takes several weeks, even if you expedite it. In addition to those searches, there were also multiple searches done relating to Dan Markel. For those of you who don't know, I covered the case of Dan Markel on my channel quite a while ago, and in that case, it's believed that Dan's wife, Wendy, her mother, and brother, Charlie, all plotted together to have Dan killed because his wife wanted the kids all to herself. If you want to hear more about that case, I will have the video I made on it linked below, but in Dan's case, it's believed that Charlie plotted the whole thing and hired hitmen to get the job done. These hitmen have since been tried and convicted for the murder, and so has Charlie Adelson. Wendy's mother, Donna, has also been arrested in the plot, but has not yet been tried for her murder charges. Specifically, Tracy had searched for the following items: how old were Dan Markel's kids when Dan was killed, and Kate Magbanwa''s second trial defense charts, Adelson Donna movies and TV shows, new Dateline episode January 19th, Donna Adelson arrested at the airport, and when was Donald Adelson arrested? Obviously, this having been searched on Kate's mother's phone is very suspicious because it doesn't take a genius to see the parallels between these two cases. But what confuses me is that it's known that Wendy's family had been implicated in this, yet I guess this family felt that they were smarter. I don't know. Either way, as I stated earlier, 2 days before the shooting, Kate texted her mother that Matt wanted her to drive back to California, but they came up with the excuse of the sprained ankle. Well, the following day, Kate texted her mother again, confirming that Matt would now be driving out to them. After sending this text, Tracy called Kate and had a 5-minute phone conversation with her. It appears that this was part of a plot to lure Matt to their home. Then, by the morning of July 12th, they found that Kate had posted in a Facebook group she was in saying that she has to do big girl things that morning, just hours before Matt arrived at the home. Then, by around 2 p.m. the same day, detectives found that Kate's mother, Tracy, searched for a meme of Stephen Carell's character, Michael Scott from The Office, excitedly shouting, "It's happening." This was around the same time that Kate was texting Matt the directions on how to get to her home. Going back just a bit, they also found that on June 20th, Kate's sister texted her saying, "I'll be watching the AirTag and let you know as soon as it updates." With that text, they found a screenshot of Apple Maps with a blue dot showing the location in California where Matt was living. This made investigators believe that they had been tracking Matt's whereabouts for quite a while. By 10 p.m. on July 12th, again the day of the shooting, they found texts from Kate to her brother saying, "Keep an eye on Find My," which is the app used to track locations on the iPhone. Then, as we know, just minutes later, police received reports of the shooting. After searching Kevin, Tracy's, and Kate's phones, they found that all 3 individuals had access to the AirTag's location, which had been listed under truck with a poop emoji next to it in their phones. Then, upon searching Matt's truck, they found a cloth storage drawer sitting on the passenger side of the truck. They found that the AirTag had been placed at the bottom of this drawer, which was filled with random things like papers, receipts, magazines, snacks, and drinks. It was in a location that would have been difficult to spot unless you were specifically searching for it. So again, it appears that Kate and various family members all had access to Matt's location and were tracking him in the weeks leading to the shooting. Then, in the hours before, as he was driving to Utah, they were closely watching his location so that they would know exactly when he arrived. In addition to the cell phone evidence, police also started looking into the knife that Matt was found holding when his body was found. The knife itself was from a brand called EvaTac, and upon looking into the brand, they found that this knife was one that they put into mystery boxes sent to My Tactical Promos. So possibly like a subscription service or something for people who enjoy tactical weapons. Well, upon searching Tracy's phone, detectives found that she had sent an email to the support email for that brand back in April. She was requesting that the brand stop sending those subscription boxes to an individual located in California because the person subscribed had passed away. After this, they found that Tracy had traveled to California in April to help a friend's estate planning because the friend's husband is the one that had passed away. The person subscribed to those tactical boxes was the husband. So, it's possible, based on this information, that Tracy could have obtained this EvaTac knife from that box when she visited the friend and then brought it back with her to Utah. Then, knowing that it was a tactical knife that a man might use, she decided to put it in Matt's hand as his choice of weapon to frame him. At this point, the evidence against Kate, her mother Tracy, and her brother Kevin does not look good. But Kate's behaviors in the days after the shooting made things look even worse. Just 1 day after Matt's death, Kate was on a video call with one of her closest friends. This was the same friend who she had texted about wanting to murder Matt back in May. Well, on that video call, the friend reported that she gave Kate her condolences, as any friend would after learning that their friend's husband died. But Kate responded by saying it was okay, that she was actually happy. Then, in another video call later that day with another friend, she said that her husband had died and she wanted to show them the area where he died, including the blood he left on the carpet. The day after that, so now 2 days after Matt's death, Kate was talking to that original friend again, and she said this time that she was getting ready to go on a date and then showed her the blood on the carpet from where Matt died. She said that she would have sent her a photo earlier had she known that her friend was into true crime. It's like she couldn't wait to tell everyone around her that she was free of this man who had been such a big inconvenience to her for so long. She couldn't even pretend to be a mourning widow in the literal days after her husband of 7 years and the father of her 2 children was shot. Based on everything we've discussed up to this point, Kate Rastelli was arrested and charged in connection with her husband's murder. So now, police have Kate, her brother Kevin, and her mother Tracy all in custody, charged with Matt's murder, along with charges of obstruction and 2 counts of domestic violence in the presence of a child. Police said that all of this evidence and these arrests came after a long, extensive, exhaustive investigation. But as of right now, they feel like they have enough to get these charges to stick at the very least. Where it stands, I believe that each individual have pleaded not guilty to their charges and are now awaiting their trials. The investigation will continue, and due to just how wild this case already is, I'm sure they're going to uncover a lot more and are going to do everything they can to get them convicted on these charges. But that is all of the information we have on today's case. And let me tell you, as I researched this case, the more I found out, the more intrigued I became. It seems like this was something that was carefully planned for so long, yet the way it was carried out was so poor. It never fails to amaze me that people don't think their phones are going to be searched, and they just have all of these Google searches and damning text messages right there. It also amazes me that they literally made so many Google searches for Dan Markel's case. They know that the people responsible were arrested and some have been convicted, yet they did it anyways. I have no idea why they thought they were smarter than them. They did a better job than them. I have no idea. But finally, it still blows my mind that people will take such drastic measures to just avoid divorce, instead of just facing the courts and figuring out what to do in the most fair way possible. These people think that they can just get rid of the problem and they can just go about their lives normally, as if there won't be an investigation, as if police are just going to take their word for it. All I can say is that Matt did not deserve this. He just wanted his wife and kids to come home, and they could have figured it out from there. But at the same time, I have to be thankful for dumb criminals like them, because they make it easy to solve these horrendous crimes. But that is all I have for you today, and now I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think police have enough evidence to convict all 3 on murder charges, or do they need more? Why do you think this whole family went in on this plot together? Do you think any of them will turn on one another, or will this end up just like Dan Markel's case? Let's discuss this and any other thoughts you have in the comments below. Of course, as with any other case with open ends, I will keep you all updated. If a lot more information comes out, I will either make another update video, or if there's not that much, I'll update the description. But with that, if you like this video, please make sure to go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I put out new true crime and mystery videos every single week. Don't forget to turn the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. All will be linked down below. And if you have any case suggestions, please make sure to fill out the Google form, which is listed down below. With that, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.